Hey guys, what is up? We're back with another week of the glorious Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3. Just FYI, I did make a YouTube community post last night, but if you are expecting episode 8 of the third season next week, there will be none. They did in advance sorry about that. In advance, they did say we are going to have a 1 week break in the middle to end of February, so that will be next week Thursday. So anybody that's hoping for episode 8, that will be the following Thursday, so the last Thursday of the month, which is February 26th, and then they're going to continue for the rest of the season. So finally we got our boy Hakari on the team. They managed to convince him, okay? He may have a hard outer shell, but he is actually pretty much a softie on the inside. He just needed a little bit of convincing, given that he and Kiara and probably many others like them were given not the most pleasant time at Jujutsu Tech and overall Jujutsu society. And this is all leading to one, saving Gojo, releasing him out of the cube. You see how my man is sitting with the skulls? He's just chilling there, he's vibing. And also save Sumiki, who is obviously Megumi's sister, who she is going to participate in the Culling games in the next in storyline 10 or probably 9 days. This episode is going to most likely cover, I believe, chapters 158 to 161. Of course, there may be some stuff that's taken out, so but roughly it's going to be around that. So that's going to be the completion of volume 18. If I can probably get enough likes on this video, I'll get volume 19 more than likely in the next 2 weeks. Get a physical volume of it. I just read it online, but I'll definitely get the physical volume. So we'll see what's going to happen in this week's episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, Episode 7. But it's so that's what they saw. Okay. Yo, this is really Yuji's friend, bro. This is the exact same words Yuji used in episode 1 when Sukuna was in his body. This is like, how do I describe it? Messed up, but sentimental. Messed up, yeah. Mm-hmm. And these are all the people that were taken out of the barrier. Mm. This is the last time you're ever gonna see them again. Dang. You see, I told you he respects y'all gang, Gojo. What? Why? Mm. Hmm. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Oh. Not him getting cute, like, yo, Megumi, you gonna help your boy? You guys already in the colony. Sukuna. Oh. Mm-hmm. And take their points. Mm. Yep, 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 yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what you can use your technique. Hmm. Oh boy. What? How is she able to do that? He already know the rules. Mhm. Oh. Okay, I didn't remember that. Lady! Like a already as soon as he dropped into the game day. Oh, he smacked the. Hmm, yeah, I mean you should have. Golly. Oh, uh, my thing is like that's your technique of propeller on your head. You must have been different during the high end period, my boy. He's coming from above. Oh, okay. Um. Ew. Ah, oh. Girl, shut up. This is why Megumi don't like you. You knocked him out, Yuji. Oh, Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I, they setting y'all up. So guys, right now I'm looking at the manga right now. They did skip all of chapter 159. So that means obviously next week, if you stay past the ending song, it's going to be focusing on Higuruma. And all I gotta say is my man did a phenomenal job from what I'm hearing from the preview. Okay. Was it the voice actor for Sakata Gintoki? Um, if I can remember his name right now at the top of my head. um, Tomokazu Sugita. You know him as Gintoki, you know him as Escanor, you know him as Joseph from JJB, okay, but best known for as Sakata Gintoki. Obviously, if you are in Japan right now, this has nothing to do with JJK, but if you are in Japan right now, you're probably seeing the retelling of Yoshiwara in Flames movie, and you're lucky. You're lucky. Mind you, he did play a lawyer in Gintama for that one episode, and he came back now to play an actual lawyer in a series that's with a game where everybody is to kill or to be killed. But they basically did, for the most part, almost finish volume 18. So they did do the rest of chapters 158, skipped the entirety of 159, because next week's episode, like I said before, is going to focus mainly on Higuruma and then the other players. So they skipped 159, went straight into 160, which opened up the episode. And then they went into, yeah, then they went into 161, and then they showed the first few characters that's in Tokyo Colony 1, and then we had what you call it, Remy, and then Itadori's old classmate, as you can see. So you can see these characters. I know some people may not end up, I don't think, if I remember correctly, if I heard something, I don't think Megumi obviously doesn't like Remy. You can see that. He just wants the information for Higuruma so he can get to his sister fast enough to rescue her from all of this. But like, I honestly, I did not expect him to smack her. That surprised me. We did get a little action with those two characters, which obviously they were defeated instantly by Yuji and all that stuff. But I believe with next week's episode, it's going to be chapters 159, 162 and 163, probably a little portion of 164 for not next week's episode, the following week. So February 26th, because like I said before early in the video, they are taking a 1 week break. So next week will be technically the conclusion of volume 18, and then we go into volume 19. But nonetheless, we have where why am I forgetting his name? Hakari. He is now part of the crew. Of course, he does want something at the end of it. There is a spoiler, but it's not so much as for JJK. It's for the sequel. If you're a manga reader of Modulo, like myself, don't put no spoilers in the chat or anything, but my boy is going to be like disappointed when he hears, like, while we're doing the game, oh yeah, Maki slaughtered the entire Zenin clan. So we're not going to see Yuta for a little bit because he's in colony too. So obviously the whole setup is try to enforce a new rule once they gather up enough points, which would be to exchange points, which I think is the smartest thing to do. Exchange points, so that way anybody that's a player, but kind of like non-combatant, they can take them out of the game. And that's the whole point, like, to stop from actually going about to take another life. But obviously Megumi, he said, compared to Yuji is just trying to like fight people but not end their lives in order to get people on their side to save Gojo and Sumiki. But Megumi says, basically, F that, I'm not Yuji. If I gotta put a body in the ground, I will put a body in the ground. Time is ticking. Time is ticking. I don't got time. I don't have time to play. I'm not here to mess around. This is strictly business. Okay, hence why you kind of saw like both Megumi and Yuji kind of butt heads a little bit in this episode. Because obviously their ideologies do clash a little bit. But given the fact that like Megumi does like Yuji because he does represent a certain personality, ideally a good person with a good head on their shoulders and who cares for individuals, just like his sister, he's able to put up with it. But you can obviously see someone like Remy is not the ideal person Megumi wants to be around because she is entirely selfish. Okay, and obviously, like they said, the conditions for the Culling game players is not only modern day sorcerers or just people of today's time, it's people from 4 to 1,000 years ago. And they made a pact with Kenjaku for this game. Of course, it took 1,000 years because Kenjaku was plotting for so long. And did they say in the anime? I'm not going to tell you exactly what's going to happen, why Kenjaku has been plotting for so long, and why he even got Sukuna roped up into this, making a pact with him, hence why Yuji was automatically a Culling Games character. I believe it was last week or the week before, but I'll still put it back into the description box. But the original draft of JJK, which was originally known as Jujutsu Kaisen, Culling Games was originally supposed to start very early on into the series, basically a chapter 2 thing, okay? And Megumi was a player, Sumiki was a player, Yuji was a player, Gojo was a player, Nanami was a player. Obviously, and I believe even Panda and Maki and Inumaki, because they were talking about how they were going to go about the plan. So Culling Games was always something that Genge was going to write initially. Of course, many changes has happened between the initial drafts of Jujutsu up until this point, but just so you know, Culling Games was always meant to be something that Genge wanted to incorporate into his series. Of course, a lot of things, again, like I said, has changed over time, and instead of it starting at the very beginning of the series like he initially drafted it to be, it's later on. So whatever ideas he had initially, he just said, you know what, we're just, you know, with the editor and all that stuff, we're just going to implement it later into the story so it could be a little bit more fleshed out. So the initial characters that were in the Culling Games, aside from a few, they're still there. And then there's also stuff that he showed that happens later on in the series past this. But nonetheless, yeah, so this is just literally the start Again, they already took out 2 characters for the Culling game, so more than likely they're not going to be playable. And they probably might end up dying, who knows. I didn't really care about those characters. Again, I did not read that portion, but I am pretty much excited about Higuruma because a lot of characters are going to like him. A lot of characters, I'm saying a lot of characters, a lot of fans are going to like him. Now, anime onlys, if you don't know who this character is, there's a reason why a lot of manga readers like Higuruma. Okay? All I gotta say is if you like Nanami, you're going to love Higuruma. That's all I gotta say. If you love Nanami, you're going to love Higuruma. Okay? And yeah, this episode was really just the groundwork for what we can expect, because the fights are going to be crazy. The fights are going to be crazy during Culling games. And like, when you heard Hakari say he's going to take on Kashimo, that's all I'm waiting. I don't think that's going to happen in this part 1. I think it's going to happen in part 2, where most of the majority of the fights of Culling games is going to happen, because we're now, because if they say they're splitting the season, and we're probably going to end on 12 or 13 episodes, I think the season may end with possibly either Kashimo versus Hakari just to start, or it's going back to Yuta. I would have to go check on the chapters again. I think that's how part 1 is going to end off, and then when we get into part 2, that's where the craziest battles of Culling games is literally going to happen. So nonetheless, if you guys already watched this week's episode of Jujutsu Kaisen season 3 episode 7, do tell me how you felt about this episode. If you're a manga reader, how do you feel about this episode versus chapters 158, 160, and 161? How excited are you to see the rest of 159 and 161 going further? If you are a manga reader, like I always say before, no spoilers, nothing further than the chapters it adapted from, anime onlys. How do you feel about this week's episode? And I know we are having a 1-week break, but what are you expecting when we do come back for episode 8 going on? The links are in the description box, so you guys go check it out. And I'm Kimi-chan, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. With